Happy December and welcome to Explore the Susquehanna River Valley with Laura Good. We are back with another episode, holiday focused, and one of my personal favorite activities. A little antiquing, a little thrifting, a little vintage shopping. Joining us today is Lucinda, who is the owner of the shops on the Old Trail. If you're not familiar with the Old Trail, it is in Shamokin Dam, Sealands Grove, just off of routes 11 and 15. We call it the Strip around here. Lucinda, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, I hear this is your very first podcast.
It is.
Okay, well, we can make a joke about, first time or all that kind of stuff.
December 1st, first time. Oh.
Hey, we're here for it. So go ahead and introduce yourself and let's tell folks a little bit to start about the shop on Old Trail.
Okay. So my name's Lucinda Marks. We're in our fourth year at the shops on Old Trail. I originally had a small gift shop on 15 in Lewisburg, had this opportunity come about to add vendors. So actually, my daughter Emily helps with the store also. So she's kind of like a co-owner. So we went and expanded, moved my store from Lewisburg down to there. We have 60 vendors, and we are open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Sundays 11 to 4, closed Mondays, and we're very conveniently located off of 15 at the red light behind Aldi's.
So it sounds like you are definitely an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so you had one store, moved it. What's the story behind getting into the business of antiquing, vintage gifts, goods? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, I've always personally loved antiques and vintage items. So when I had this opportunity to expand, I didn't carry, I used it more for display in my other store. So now this store, the vendors have added and we complement each other. I actually use the vintage antique items in my displays.
Oh, wow.
So if you're not really an antique buff, vintage buff, that kind of person, even if you're more modern, you can take something as simple as, say, an old metal lunchbox, open the lid, throw some greens in it, and you can incorporate it into your home decor.
Oh, cool.
So it's kind of a nice match together. So I really got into it, and I do have, antiques in my house, but I have added more and came across more things I like now.
Isn't that the trouble, though? I feel like when you're in the business you're in, liking all of the things that you have in your store to sell.
Yes. But my comment to customers, I keep an eye on things and I see something I like and I'm thinking, customer brings it up. I said, thank you for buying it. Now I don't have to purchase it and take it home.
That's awesome. So your shop is essentially a shop within a shop. You mentioned 60 vendors. What other kinds of things are in the shops on Old Trail?
So my part is actually, I do have vintage and antiques on my side, but I do the more of the new home decor to accent everything. So it's more linens and florals, things to, accessorize with. Where the 60 vendors are, I would say over half of them are antique, vintage, collectibles, because there's a fine line, what's considered an antique and what's considered vintage. As a collectible is whatever someone's collects is a collectible.
Okay.
It doesn't really have to be old.
Okay.
So, so we have a lot and we have a big variety, and that's what a lot of people come into the store and comment that we love the store. You have such a large variety. So I really, I hate to say it this way, but I really screen the vendors that come in because I don't want, I don't want customers coming in and think, 50 of her vendors are all the same.
Sure.
So we like a large variety. It draws a larger customer base for us. And actually, you can have a couple families shopping together and there's something for everybody to look at.
So you mentioned two words, which I don't even know the difference. So you mentioned antique, vintage. Sometimes people say retro. Now thrifting is a huge thing on social media, a thrift haul. What is that fine line difference between something that's antique and vintage?
So antiques are not considered an antique till it's over 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
Which years ago, when my grandmother had something, which I don't know how old it was, we always just thought, oh, she has a lot of antiques because we just thought everything looked old. So I don't know if it really was an antique at that point, but that's kind of what the fine lines are.
Oh,
like
wow.
with co-ops, some co-ops only allow antiques.
So a true antique, so 100 years plus.
Yes.
Wow,
And it's
okay.
hard to find. I mean, it's getting harder for the vendors to source that kind of stuff because the stuff is just, a lot of the stuff's not in good condition. So it's unique when you do find a lot of nice stuff. And I have to say our vendors are good at sourcing. And we have, a couple vendors that really do a good job with the antique and collectibles. And then we have others that pretty much, just do the vintage. And then the retro is anything that can be like, retro, some people like retro because it has polka dots on it. Polka dots might have been popular. I can't tell you what year, but
Sure.
And we have a lot of the younger generation. They like the retro stuff, like whether it be, something that's that dark red that was popular way back when, or like the jadeite, which is, popular. But we have a lot of younger generation coming into shop now, which makes my heart happy because I feel like, sometimes, it's a lot of older people, but you get the younger generation and they come in and they start collecting something as simple as maybe the kerosene lamps because they aren't real expensive.
Sure.
But yet in 5 years, they could be through the roof because the prices fluctuate so much.
Okay, yeah.
So.
And it's so funny you say retro, vintage, antique, and even with clothing, I know my nieces wanted to sort of ransack my closet and they're like, "Oh, Aunt Laura, we love these 90s jeans. They're so vintage." And I'm like, oh my God, my heart. I know. I'm like, okay, all right. Well, I still wear those. And
do they call you ma'am yet?
Unfortunately, I was ma'amed twice over the weekend, Lucinda, and my heart stopped a little bit. I am 43 years old. I don't mind throwing that out there, but I was like, "Sir, do I look like a ma'am?" and this, little perfect, cashier looks at me. He's like, "Well, I just, you look grown up." Like,
I'm 64 and I get ma'am all the time, but I've earned the title ma'am. So
it's just right now, anything trending online, everything is kind of 90s and 2000s.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's high school.
Yes, it is. And people, actually, there are people that come in and say, "Do you have any vintage clothing?" And there are sources that you can go to that they do source like old vintage, like concert T-shirts that are real popular. I mean, just
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a 17-year-old niece and a 14-year-old niece, and they're looking for that stuff constantly. They love it. Anything old is new again.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So the Susquehanna River Valley really is starting to develop a reputation for quality vintage and antique items. Lewisburg has a ton of locations. Now Selinsgrove, Shamokin Dam, Northumberland, more and more locations are popping up. Even down in the coal region, Shamokin has a handful of vintage shops that have popped up on Independence Street. So with it being December and we're talking about gift giving, what kinds of seasonal finds could you find specifically at your store?
At our store, a lot of our vendors, they pretty much concentrate on vintage collectible Christmas items. So it could even look like that elf that your grandma had hanging with the old felt that the knees were pulled up around, which I have one. And, or they do the shiny brights. They're looking for old ornaments. They may even just find one ornament. The old Santas, the old blow molds, things like that. But there's also, even at the holidays, they're looking to add to collections. We have people come in that buy, Pyrex bowls. My daughter collects the Pyrex bowls and she doesn't have this color, So it's a lot of different things. And we always have a large variety because our vendors actually come in about once a week to restock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so a lot of stuff is sold through our store. So if you see it, you better buy it.
Do you currently, well, if you see it, you better buy it right away because they are unique items.
Yes.
Do you currently have a favorite piece or a favorite type of collectible or item that's for sale right now?
I would say the old vintage Santas. Some of the really old ones that we see in there, they're old. They're made out of, it can be anything from like the little shiny brights. Some people bring in the older old world Santas.
Oh, yeah.
And I like the snowmen. So things like that for me.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot, but I like the holiday decor. So
you're speaking my language. I have over 100 Santas on display in my house currently.
Oh, there you you go.
decorated for Christmas. They have all been either gifted or thrifted. When both of my grandmothers passed away, they kind of had quite the collection. My mom had quite the collection. So vintage or antique Santas are sort of my thing. And I feel like now that I know that you specifically have those, Keith, that's my husband, if you're listening, which you better be, and support your wife and listen to this podcast, holiday shopping tip number 1 of the season, go to the Shops on Old Trail and buy me a Santa.
And you can always stop and ask us. We can take you around, show you what we know is there and what we don't know is there.
I have, the thing is about this kind of stuff is when you find something that's truly unique, it creates a memory, and then it's attached. And like, I have Santa Clauses from all over the world because we hosted exchange students, and just every time I get them out and put them up for the season,
those memories pop in your mind.
It's the wonderful thing about antiques or vintage finds. There are memories associated with these items.
Makes you feel warm and cozy all over again, just like you just got it again.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head.
Oh, yeah. It's fun.
So your location is a good one. Pretty much thoroughfare for most of the Susquehanna River Valley, or if you're traveling up from, let's say, the Capital Region, Harrisburg, or coming down from Mansfield, Williamsport, even Wilkes-Barre, depending upon how you're coming. What else adds to the shopping experience other than its location at the Shops on Old Trail?
I'm proud of, it's a cement building from the outside, but don't let that discourage you from stepping inside, because it originally started out as a men's shirt factory where they made men's shirts for contracts that went to New York City.
Oh, wow.
Then when that came to a halt, then the local shirks took over and they turned it into the fabric store, which many of us know that have lived around here.
Oh, yes.
I graduated in 1978, and I used to go there for my home ec fabric.
My mom was just complaining the other day about how all the fabric stores are closing.
And I still have people walk through the door. I'm looking for foam, like for seat cushions and stuff.
Yeah,
and I said, well, and I do redirect them to places I know that carry that stuff, that do upholstery and stuff yet. But and what's neat about the building is we try to keep it aesthetically as close to what it was. It still has the old wood floors in.
Cool.
In the back, a lot of people remember they had bins of buttons, and the kids, would play in them.
I know I would. My mom would be like, stay right here, and she would go with my grandmother and look for fabric.
And if you look in between the boards back there where they were, there's still buttons down between there. When I first took over, I actually took something was starting to pop. Now I'm like, no, this goes with the store. So there's still amazing. Buttons down in those little between the floorboards and stuff. And we try, like I said, we try to keep it, we update things as needed, but we try to keep it aesthetically. And I just feel it's like, I don't know, it brings back so many memories for people. Like if we would change and redo it like modern, I just don't think it would have that. To me, it wouldn't mean anything anymore.
I also appreciate that the exterior, like you said, it's a concrete building. It really creates a hidden gem sort of feeling where you walk in and you're like, whoa, I did not expect this.
Yeah.
Whether it was the fabric store in the past or now a collective of individual vendors, yourself as the primary owner, and you just never know what to expect.
And it's funny because I started to do, some of the floors have like a lot of like, I think it's probably grease on the cement from the old sewing machines that were up there.
That makes
probably.
Sense. Yeah.
And so I got like porch paint and was starting to do some of the vendor floors, and different people come up and said, oh, don't do that. I'm like, oh, but I don't like it. It looks so dirty. But that takes away from the aesthetic of the store. I'm like, I'm thinking, no, that just looks dirty.
Like every once in a while, change is good, people.
Maybe I should put a little sign, sewing machine oil.
Right? It's like circa 1993.
Yeah, probably like 1960.
Probably, yeah, going way back, way back.
Yeah.
Because it was the fabric store as long as I can remember during my childhood, and we all learned I'm 43.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't remember it being anything other than the fabric store.
I don't remember either.
Yeah.
And I remember where, you walked in, I remember to the left because back then the Debbie Mum fabric was popular. I would go to the left because that's where it was, and I liked her fabric.
So funny.
I know.
So as a small business owner, especially this holiday season, I've noticed that it really is a community. in the Susquehanna River Valley, small businesses supporting other small businesses. What do you personally enjoy most? Because it's a tough gig
Yeah,
being
it is.
a small business owner.
It is.
It is
It's a lot
not,
of work.
it's a lot of work. It's not a 9 to 5.
Nope.
People always are like, oh, I'd love to own a boutique.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's like, it's not as easy as it looks. But what's your favorite part of being a member of the small business community in the Susquehanna River Valley?
I like, especially in this valley, because I feel like a lot of the small business owners either had roots here to start with or left and then came back and started a business. So a lot of people that I know that have businesses in the area have lived here all their lives. So it's kind of like we didn't go very far, but yet still want to contribute to the area in some way. And I just love it that people can come in and just reminisce. I don't even care if they don't buy anything. Please buy. But I just love to hear them come up. Oh my gosh, it brought back so many memories, and a lot of it is like, we'll have Crocs that are local. They might be 50 years old, but they're from local events that went on. We'll have, from stores that have closed, can be anything from rulers to tape measures to ashtrays from hotels that have closed, but a lot of it's local memorabilia too, which really sells in our area. Now, when people come from out of town, they're looking for more. And to be honest with you, a lot of them are looking for the more high-end collectibles a lot of times because even in the cities, they're paying a lot more money than they can find them around here if they can find them.
Which makes us a destination, right?
It is, yeah.
I mean, that leads to my next question. Antique, vintage, retro shopping here in the Susquehanna River Valley is gaining in popularity because I think you can pinpoint our location in 2 hours in any direction, be to one of the major East Coast cities.
Exactly.
2 to 3 hours, and you were in Philly, New York, Baltimore, a little farther, DC. But why do you think it is such a big draw for visitors coming in?
Visitors coming. I know we find a lot with being a lot of colleges in a certain radius of area. We get a lot of, and we get to know a lot of the parents stop in every time they come. They can be coming as far as Connecticut down through to Bucknell. They find us to Susquehanna, and it's like, oh, we're here to visit my daughter again this weekend, and stuff. And even coming north from Baltimore and stuff, because a lot of kids come up this way to go to college. But I think a lot of it has to do with the college towns, and a lot of it, like you said, it's the vicinity, just the dynamic of the way the things are laid out. It's really a day trip if you want it to be.
Oh, sure.
Or they'll come and stay overnight and then go back the next day. They'll hit so many one day, stay overnight, and then go back home.
So if someone was coming for the first time and they were looking to sort of map out, they are an antique enthusiast, what tips or suggestions could you give to them? Like, kind of where would you bebop around personally for a first-time visitor?
I mean, definitely if you're coming from the north, I would definitely hit the Lewisburg area. There's, a lot there to do. There's actually a couple co-ops up near Mifflinburg. We are down, of course, Shamokin Dam. There's Selinsgrove. There's over in Sunbury, like you mentioned, Norrie, Shamokin. And it's like one big circle you could do and allow lots of time. Because people come in the store and they're like, oh, and they start walking towards the back and they're like, oh, they didn't realize it went back as far as it does. And it takes a while if you're really looking specifically, and if you aren't looking specifically, people just get lost in their memories.
Sure. Yeah, looking at everything.
Yeah, and I'll be walking around trying to help customers, and I'll hear, oh my gosh, my grandma had one of them. I do the same thing. And, it does.
So do I.
It brings back a lot of, good memories of the old days, when things were slower and just laid back. And that's kind of the feeling we have in the store. Everything's laid back. You take your time, and it's just a fun atmosphere. And I just think people traveling, especially from the bigger cities, like that slowness.
The slowness and kind of the just look and browse and kind of maybe pilfer through things looking
and if you're like me, you like to feel and touch things.
So do I. Yeah. I have to pick it up, look at it, turn it around. And then carry it around with me for a while. And then I'm like, I'm not sure. I do that all the time. All the time. Put it back and then I take it back. Put it back, take it back.
Oh, that's all the time. People come up with carts full. Now, let me sort it. I definitely want this. Yeah, this. Oh, now this is a maybe. Now this is a no. Could you put that back for me, please? Sure. So it's fun. It really is
fun. It really, because you never know what you're going to find. That I think is the key to any antique or vintage shop wherever you go.
Yep.
It's changing so constantly because, like you said, you have amazing vendors that are sourcing constantly
Yep.
that they want to have kind of turnover, but then also those rare gem finds.
And people don't realize as a vendor, some people come in as a vendor thinking it's an easy, and it's not easy being a vendor. If you really want to work at it and source, and if you're in it to make money, it takes work.
Oh, it's curated.
Yes.
It has to be curated.
And you have to have the taste to go source. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you have to have good taste and stuff. And like, we have this one gentleman, he's just awesome. And it's like, he comes in with some of the stuff. I'm like, whoa, where'd you find that? I mean, it can be a little bit of everything, and he always has to come up and show me, which I'm glad. I mean, because he has a couple spaces down there, and he does very well. But yeah, it takes work, and I appreciate the work my vendors do and the time they put in it too.
So if folks listening want to sort of put a visual with what we've been talking about today, can they find you on social media or a website?
We have Facebook and Instagram. We're working on a Spotify or a Spotify. No, not Spotify.
That's a playlist.
No,
a TikTok.
It's a no Shopify website.
Oh, Shopify. Oh, great.
It's
Spotify is for music.
Yes.
Shopify is for
I have
shopping.
the Spotify in my head because I've been playing music through a speaker at the store. Because with the old cement building, we don't get hardly. I'm sorry. Many
No, it's
radio
okay.
stations.
No offense taken. Those cement bricks, keep it out.
We try. It's like, and I go and it's like, oh no. So yes, we do have. You can follow us on there. I do a lot of posts. I post on updates. I post on events that are coming up. I try to even do pictures of individual items I think are
Awesome.
unique or are great prices, things like that. Because we also hand make some of our stuff in the store. We do little. Again, I sourced little old containers and we put little floral arrangements in them so they aren't like anybody else's.
Very, very cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of events, it is the holiday season. Do you have any events or specials happening in the month of December that you would like to share?
In December, usually the 2 weeks before December, we have our Slay Your Last Minute gift ideas. Vendors will run sales. They just had sales Black Friday, Small Business Saturday.
Sure.
And usually there's vendors that have some sort of sale going on. So it's up to the vendors what they do, but then I promote the ones that are store-wide. So we do that. And then in January or right after Christmas, we have the after Christmas sales. And then, of course, then it comes up to Easter and just a
And it
vicious
just keeps
cycle.
going and going and
Before
going.
we know it's Christmas time again.
Well, that's what I heard that too. In January, Amanda, I heard that. It's noted.
If there's any left.
What I heard, though, is that, especially at the shops on Old Trail, you need to shop often.
Yes.
And we are encouraging everyone to shop small this
Yes.
holiday season. So unique finds, unique items. If you're not an antiquer, don't look past, though, stopping into something that has a multitude of vendors because you never know what you're going to find.
Exactly. Because I always say there's something for everyone at the shops in Old Trail. If you look in every nook and cranny, you'll find something. I mean, it's fun. I
Well,
find something every day I go
If
in.
that isn't the perfect way to wrap up our
Yes.
podcast, there is something for everyone.
There is.
At the shops on Old Trail. Lucinda, thank you so very, very much.
appreciate
for
you
joining.
having me.
I thank you for coming on. And now that I know about the Santa Clauses, I know where I'm going this weekend. As always, of course, you make sure that you head to visitcentralpa.org for all of your Susquehanna River Valley planning needs, to include the amazing antique, vintage, and retro businesses that we have listed on the website. You can get this podcast wherever you get podcasts, and make sure that you like and follow the Shops on Old Trail on Facebook, Instagram, and soon you can shop on Spotify. Lucinda, thanks so much again.
Shopify.
Did I say Spotify? Yeah. Of course I did. And there it is.
The end.
The end.